This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Apple Pie a la Murder by Kate Bell and Kathleen Suzette. Chapter 1. "It'll be the death of you if you can't convince him to change," Lucy said, nodding. "I know it's driving you crazy. He has no idea what he's doing, and you have the answer to his problems." "Tell me about it," I said, rolling out the pie crust to an even thickness. She was right. I knew better than to try another slice of Henry Hoffer's pies. The cherry pie resembled cherry-flavored gelatin in a crust. His restaurant was called Henry's Home Cooking Restaurant, but he wasn't fooling anyone with the pies. They were store-bought, and not even a name brand. "Tell Henry you want to bake pies to sell at his restaurant. The pies alone will double his business," Lucy said, relaxing at my kitchen table. A cup of coffee was in her hand, and she had slipped her shoes off under the table. "I don't know about that," I replied, as I ran a hand over the pie crust dough. It was beautiful. "Henry would be lucky to have your pies to sell," she encouraged me. "Everyone loves your pies." Peeled and sliced Granny Smith apples were in a bowl on the counter beside me, marinating in sugar and cinnamon, their juices pooling in the bottom of the bowl. My apple pies were as American as you could get. "I'm glad you have confidence in my pies," I said. I was making the pie, but I still wasn't convinced Henry would agree to do business with me. That Henry could be stubborn. I brushed the top of the pie with a butter and cinnamon sugar glaze and finished crimping the crust. Then I slid it into the preheated oven and closed the door, anticipating the wonderful apple cinnamon smell that was about to fill my house. It was one of the signature scents of fall. I had been baking a pie every day for years. Don't judge. There was a method to my madness. Or at least there was a reason for it. I had grown up in Alabama, and my grandmama was the best pie baker in the county. She made a fresh pie every day. It was fortunate for me that she lived right next door. By the time I was 14, I could make a pie crust so flaky it would make you cry. "Allie, I think you're too modest about your baking talents," Lucy said, taking a sip of her coffee. A thin blue headband held her short blonde hair back. I chuckled. "Modesty isn't my problem," I said. "I just don't know if I really want to do this." When I moved away to college, I gave up the pursuit of pie baking for the pursuit of men, namely one Thaddeus McSwain from Maine. We married and lived a happy life, having 2 children and a cute little house with a white picket fence in a small town. Our son was named after my husband, and our daughter Jennifer. But a drunk driver had cut my husband's life short. My life and my children's lives would never be the same. I began baking a pie every day shortly after his death. The comfort of something as familiar as buttery pastry dough and marinating fruit helped me to heal. It was therapy. My cat Dixie rubbed up against my leg and purred loudly. "Hey Guy, how are you?" I murmured as I squatted beside him and rubbed his head. Dixie was all black with yellow-green eyes, and like most cats, he seemed to be able to take or leave my companionship. I straightened up and set a timer for the pie. "You're a marvel, Allie," Lucy said, picking up her cup of coffee and taking another sip. "There's no one in Sandy Harbor that bakes as well as you do." I smiled. "Why, thank you, Lucy. It makes me happy that people appreciate my baking. This little endeavor is going to be a roaring success." "I'm glad I thought of it," she said, stirring her coffee. Lucy was 6 years older than me, and sometimes she dyed her short blonde hair wild colors. "She's the best friend I've ever had." "You know I have a blog on grief to write, and I don't have the time nor the inclination to start a side business," I protested. "But you're baking a pie every day as it is. You may as well get paid for it. Maybe you'll make enough money to help pay off the kids' college loans." She was right. I was baking a pie every day, and when the holidays rolled around, it seemed there was always someone asking me to bake something for them. I wasn't sure I could handle baking more than a couple of pies a day regularly, but Sandy Harbor, Maine was a small town.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.